Born and raised on a south-central Nebraska farm, Les grew up in the outdoors, hunting with a single-shot 410 and fishing the local ponds. But it was the winters that fueled the fire for him, learning to trap from his grandfather, Herbert Fox Johnson, and becoming obsessed with the quest for predators. Years later, while pursuing a degree in animal science at the College of the University of Nebraska, a good friend asked Les what his goal in life was, and Les replied, "I want to be one of the best coyote callers in the world." Not long after, Les became the first coyote caller to secure the Triple Crown Championship of coyote calling, winning the Midwest, National, and World Championships in 1999. Not only did he do it, but he did it in 1 year. To me, Les Johnson is the godfather of predator hunting, being one of the first people to ever do a coyote-only show on television. When I first met Les was right after he had won the fan-favorite hunting show on the Sportsman's Channel for the second year in a row. When I went up to congratulate him, we had a great conversation, and Les and I have become great friends ever since.
There's just no wind. Absolutely perfect conditions. Kind of a cool time of year. We've been seeing a bunch of elk. Some of them are packing both sides of their antlers. Some of them aren't packing. Just a lot going on out here right now.
Once again, we decided to team up and do a coyote hunt together. Les decided to travel out to my home state of Montana, and we headed right to one of my favorite deer hunting spots to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only would we have a blast coyote hunting, but we would save a lot of deer in the process. Once again, I was really excited to have Les out here and hunt with him. It's so rare that you get to hunt with somebody that's an icon in their field. Les has always been an idol of mine in the predator hunting world. He's a great friend, and it's always just a pleasure to sit and watch Les do his thing. How he sets up, the way he reads the terrain, and which calls he decides to use. It's always a learning experience for me, and I look forward to every stand.
sage is so tall. And that coyote is just so tiny coming in through this stuff.
The first morning found us out in a familiar draw, hunting some of the same coulees I had been in for mule deer. The conditions seemed perfect, and after 2 or 3 stands, we finally had a response.
I couldn't, no.
Yeah, I could have killed him right here, but I was like, I looked at you and I could see you didn't see it, and then he disappeared and went over the hill and started going down. I'm like, yeah, I probably messed it up. But good thing he come around in front here. We got one down. Did you see it right away down there?
Right when I got your attention, I spotted him. I don't know if he stood up after you did your first call,
Yeah.
and he just stared at us.
Yeah, just stayed down there forever.
Yeah.
Well, gee whiz. Finally come in, but circled around and then didn't like something and started to leave and made the 150-yard shot. We've got a Montana coyote down, deer killer down.
It's like a nice big dog, too.
Yeah, looked
pretty
like
dog.
It. Looked like it. Kerwop!
Yeah.
That right there is a big old woolly Montana male right there. Oh my gosh, that thing's beautiful. Big old coyote. Jeez Louise. Look at those guard hairs. Just unreal. Big old Montana male. He's just a monster. 22-250. Just put him right down. Man, he's heavy. And he even smells like a coyote. Man, he's big. That is a deer killer right there. Man.
Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. With one coyote under our belt and the animals on their feet, we decided to keep moving on and make more stands. The thing about coyote hunting that I learned is you're constantly moving, constantly changing up your stands. Every half hour, 45 minutes, if it doesn't work, we move to the next one and would try a whole other setup with a whole other series of calls and a whole other strategy in mind. Like I said, I was having a blast just watching Les do his thing. That evening, we decided to make one last stand for the night. And just as I was about ready to start collecting my gear and gather up, I looked over at Les and could see him looking down the barrel. I had no idea that this coyote had snuck in across the sagebrush flat and popped up right in front of us. So it was a great way to end our first day. 2 coyotes under our belt and 2 great textbook scenarios of calling these dogs in the eastern plains of Montana.
Female. Nice female. Hit a little high on this coyote, but shooting in all this brush, I could barely see it. We had 3 bull elk over there on the hill, and early on into the call, and I seen the one bull, he picked his head up and he was looking up the same draw, and we had some antelope, and I heard them blow and take off, and I think this coyote just walked and trotted the whole way in, so that's why it took so long. But nonetheless, at least we got an opportunity.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see him pop up out here. Just beelining it right for you.
The wind's laid down. We've got the overcast right now, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Good job.
Work, man.
Good
That's
job.
awesome.
Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. The very last morning we were going to hunt together, we ended up in a beautiful draw. And it was one of those scenarios that you can just feel as a hunter. When I sat down, it just felt right. The wind was in our face, and the terrain just felt good. It felt like there should be coyotes in this area. Sometimes dogs respond sooner than others. Sometimes it takes them a while. This dog came instantly. Next thing I know, this coyote is standing right next to me. Its hair blowing in the wind in that beautiful morning sunlight. It was a moment I'll never forget, and we made the most of it.
Well, I know, and I was sitting so low I couldn't see, and like I told Jason, I glanced over there at the deer, and they all snapped their heads straight down, and I knew there was a coyote coming.
Yeah, and I was sunk just enough in the
Yeah.
hole. I heard you squeaking, and I kept looking at you, but you weren't like giving a signal, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. And all of a sudden, I looked over, and there's a coyote standing there about 20 yards from me. I mean, that was so cool. And I just thought, well, Les has got to have the shotgun on him.
Well, he was behind sagebrush, and all I could see was barely see his head, so I set up, he turned his head, and he looking back, there may have been another one. And I just put the shotgun right on his head, and he turned and looked at me, and I just, boom. Just,
Yeah, another pretty coyote.
yeah. That's a big old male.
Black tip and tail.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Nice work, man. That happened fast.
Oh,
I mean, we
yeah.
haven't been here, what, 2-3 minutes on this set? And he's in our lap.
Yeah.
In our lap.
Yeah, he was close.
And I looked for another one running out after when I
Yeah.
sat up. I didn't see him getting out again.
But what an awesome way to end a hunt with Les. One of my good friends and somebody I look up to so much in this industry. We have so many of the same views of why we got into doing a television show and what our goals are for the future. We share a common bond with that. But more than that, we love to hunt. And that is like glue. We will always be friends. That's the one thing about hunting, is you end up in different locations, different hunting camps for different animals, and you meet people from all over the world who share a common passion, and by the end of that week, you're friends for life. And that's exactly what this hunt is with Les and I. It's a common bond, something we share together. And the stories that you hear, the stories that are shared around hunting camp, are unbelievable. Stories that you can pass on to your children and their children, and so on. One thing I've learned about this world is, no matter who you are, everyone has a story worth listening to.